Everyone, I am back to give you guys my final thoughts for this Calvin Kattar Dan Ige Wednesday night UFC action. Made a video yesterday, did some more research last night and this morning, and a couple plays have changed, not a lot, but just wanted to go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts, final core plays for Draftkings, and these plays are also the same on Fanduel pretty much, so just be on Draftkings for this video. At the top, Jack Shore is at 9,400. He looks great today. I expect him to win, probably get a finish, as he has done that in I think 7 of his 12 fights or something ridiculous. But he goes for finishes, whether it's via submission or via TKO or knockout. Jack Shore is a tremendous option. But I do like Al Hassan a lot today now that I did a little bit more. Looking back at some of his recent fights, he goes for finishes. He hasn't fought in a couple years, and that's because he was battling some legal troubles and stuff. But he goes for finishes. All 10 of his wins have come by knockouts. Many of them have come in the first round. Last 3 fights have barely lasted more than a minute, as he got first round knockouts in all 3 of those fights. So I think he would probably be one of my favorite guys to spend up on. I still like Jack Shore, but just building a lineup, I didn't have enough to get up to short, so maybe in the one lineup I will probably just go with Al Hassan. Hopefully he can get another first round knockout, and then if that happens, he will probably be on the optimal. And then Calvin Kattar, I still love him just because he is the third most expensive fighter in a 5 round affair against Dan Ige. I expect him to win. He can get some knockouts and TKO victories as well. He doesn't throw a ton of significant strikes, but it's going to be a 5 round fight. If it goes at least 4 rounds, he should be able to rack up hopefully at least 80 plus, maybe even get you 100 plus significant strikes if it goes all 5 rounds. And unlike on FanDuel, where he is $2 more than the second most expensive fighter, where you might have to think about if you want to play him or not. On DraftKings, he will definitely be um, in the player pool and definitely be a core piece probably. And then I think in this eight, I'm not really Bukakis, probably the fourth guy that I like above 9,000 in the 8K range. I do like still Shemev if he can get up to him, but kind of tough to pay up for 3 guys that are this expensive because you're going to need a lot of savings. But I like Al Hassan and Kattar as my spend ups. And then I like Molly McCann here at 8,200 as a nice mid range fighter. I love her because she throws so many significant strikes. She is super aggressive. Just going back and watching her fights, she had a tough win last time out against Diana Belbita. She gets takedowns. She basically does a little bit of everything, and I think she will get the job done against Santos. Although it is a tough matchup because Talia Santos is just have a bigger reach against her, but she's just super aggressive. She's never gonna give up you know until it's over, hopefully. But usually it's gonna go to the decision, and that's fine for her because she's only 8,200, and even in a decision win, she can put up 100 plus fantasy points. And then I like Cody Stamen at 7,800 as my fourth guy. I do like Fishgold still, but I think it's a little bit risky because if he can get taken down, if he gets knocked out, it could be early. There's a chance that he only puts up under 10 fantasy points, and I don't know if I want that much risk in a cash lineup. So he's probably might get the boot, but I think he makes for a great tournament play. But I just have more confidence in Cody Stamen. I don't think he is gonna get knocked out quickly at all. I think he will be able to make this into a decision, probably a decision. Maybe he can get a submission if he can somehow get Rivera on the ground, although he is good at defending takedowns. But I definitely have way more confidence in Cody Stamen, so he's still going to be there. And then for some cheap fighters, I think you can definitely play Dan Ige at 7,100 if I really don't have that much confidence in anybody else in this range. Dan Ige, he is pretty tough. He is pretty tough for him to get knocked out. He doesn't really tend to get knocked out. He usually, more times than not, is going to be a decision victory or a decision loss. Although he's been winning a bunch lately, but most of the time it's going to come to the decision. I think if Kattar does get a TKO, it's probably not going to come in the first 3 rounds. It might come in round 4 or 5. But I think in that span of time, Dan Ige should at least be able to rack up some significant strikes. Maybe get like a takedown, although it's going to be tough, but get some significant strikes and at least get you a decent floor where even if he loses, which I do expect, he could still make like the optimal if no other cheap play wins. So that's how Dan Ige can make his way into the optimal even in a loss. And then I do like he's a little bit expensive for me on DraftKings, but Ricardo Ramos, I think, will get the win against Murphy. I think he has a chance to get a finish via submission or TKO, but I think he'll win. And then Diana Belbita is one of my other favorite plays in the 8K range, although she is behind Molly McCann, at least on DraftKings. So that is pretty much it for the video. I said I'll skip FanDuel, but I guess I'll go ahead and just give you guys what I kind of have for FanDuel. Okay, on FanDuel, like I said, it's more of a decision point if you're going to play Kattar or not because he's $22, and I think that Jack Shore has similar upside. Al Hassan has similar upside, $4 cheaper. If you do play Kattar, you're probably going to have to go with like 2 or 3 guys that are in this $14, $15 range, hope for some upsets. And I do think you could look at some like Molly McCann is one that I would definitely have. Then you're probably going to have to hope for some upsets, but I think if you want to be a little bit contrarian, because I do think Kattar will still get a lot of ownership, you might have like Jack Shore at captain because he puts up a ton of fantasy points too. Will be, I mean, he is like he is the heaviest favorite on the slate, so I think he is probably going to be. I mean, I definitely want him in my lineup, so I think you could play my captain, or you could play Al Hassan at captain because he's probably looking for that first round finish like he's been doing his entire career. So I think these two set up great. They're cheap enough that you can still fit in a bunch of other favorites and a bunch of other players that can rack up fantasy points. No interest in Dan Ige on FanDuel. He's too expensive at $18. But those two look great. Molly McCann, I love her at $14. And like Cody Stamen at $15, I think looks great as well. You still have $17 left. And then I think players that I might be a little bit cautious about on FanDuel is like Jimmy Rivera because I don't think he'll win. Rivera, I think Fishgoal just because if he doesn't win, then he could be a killer. If he doesn't win, he can get you like 10 fantasy points and you're gonna regret it. So I'm a little bit hesitant on him. I would go with Stamen or Molly McCann. And then I don't have interest really in Benoit. You could play Talia Santos because she can definitely get the job done against McCann, and she's only $15. Yeah, you could play Murphy if you think he'll beat Ramos, but I'd like Ramos. And I have no interest in Aaron Phillips or Lazez or Mikal Lidis at $11 or even Georgia. So those are the 4 that I like a lot, and then I would go up for maybe another expensive fighter. But that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. This is my final thoughts for UFC Fight Island 2 between Calvin Kattar and Dan Ige. Good luck tonight. Hopefully, you guys win some money, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video probably.